Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ariel's Division 10C Week 6 preview. How is everyone doing today? So I have my co-host with me. That's Chopshoe. He's back from a week absent. How you doing, Chopshoe?
Hey guys, I'm doing pretty good.
All right, and even better than that, we have a guest with us, one of 10C's own, Truck. Truck, how you doing today?
Hey, excellent. Thanks for having me.
No, I'm happy. I'm happy to have you as well. And so, Truck, when we're doing some sound tests right before this, you let me know that the English is not your first language; it is your second language. And I just want to say, mad props to you to being able to give an interview and be on the recap speaking in English. Man, I've always had a lot of respect for people that be willing to do that. So I think that's really awesome of you.
Yeah, that's fine. If you can survive my Borat accent, I don't mind. I understand everything.
No, you sound good. Yeah, you're good, man. So before we start diving into last week's matchups and diving into this coming up week's matchups, I wanted to try to learn a little bit more about Truck. So first off, how did you find out about Blood Bowl? When did you start playing? And when did you find out about Rebbl? And what made you want to join the league?
Okay, so I've been a gamer all my life. I'm somewhat old. I'm 34 years old. So now I have a wife, two kids, and the wife doesn't like very much. I still play video games. So I started playing. I played another video game with Tab and other people, but that video game is a role-playing game that takes a lot of time. Sometimes you can sit on the computer and be like 6 hours playing. So in one of the negotiations with my wife is I start playing games that have a start and a finish. And then they had like this little side league of Blood Bowl and I joined it. And I was immediately fascinated by the game. It's so much fun, and it's 16 turns. So I tell the wife, okay, I'm going to play a game of Blood Bowl, and then I'll change the diapers and wash the kids and whatever. So it's easier that way.
No, that's fantastic, man. Happy wife, happy life. So that's I think that's some sound
you
advice.
have to know to make concessions.
All right, all you youngins out there listening to this, follow this man's advice. He knows what he's doing. All right,
So that's how I started playing Blood Bowl, and I was invited to Rebbl by Tap. In the clan league, basically. I don't know why he wanted me to play with them. I mean, they are all much better than me, but somehow I still perform. Last week,
For the record.
I did segments. I don't know how.
It's Tessa that wanted you on the
team. Oh man, that's good.
So yes, and after playing the clan league, I got to know the league. I saw how friendly everybody was, how serious it was, and I said, "What the hell? I'll play solos as well."
No, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you're in the league. I love covering your team in your division. You're definitely right now the meme lord of 10C. So it's you're bringing the entertainment, man.
Yeah, my team has something that is quite peculiar, I think, and that is that it's a Nurgle team, and it has never tied, and that is weird. I mean, Nurgle is a team made to tie, and it has never tied. I've only won or lost. I think it's maybe because of the memes, maybe because of my playstyle. I'd like to go for it. I don't know, but I can't manage to just draw with someone else. I don't know what you think.
It's fine. I'm enjoying watching your games. They're always entertaining.
Agreed. That's what I was gonna say. So we'll hold off a little bit for the viewers. We'll dive into your team a little bit later when we start previewing your this upcoming matchup. So what I'd like to do is go ahead if you're cool with the chop shoe, we can take a deep dive right into Week 5's matchups and look how everyone else
let's do
did.
this.
Cool. You want to kick us off?
Truck, did you yeah, just first a question for Truck first. Did you get to watch any of those games this week?
Yes,
Your
I
division.
watched. Yes, I watched. I think most of them, but I wouldn't remember right now.
Alright,
But
no
I can
problem.
comment on them. Yes.
Alright, cool. So the first game this week was actually Stormforce against a few ornery Onanist. I hate this team name.
Hey,
It's a
Chop
funny
Shoe.
team name, though.
It's a hilarious team name. Have you Googled what an onanist is, Chop Shoe?
No, I'm scared to, so I did not do it yet.
It's good.
I
It's
might
good.
have to do it tonight after this recap.
The player names get even funnier after you learn the team name.
Yes, exactly.
Alright,
Exactly.
I'll have to do this later. If we go back to the game, the Dwarven team actually beat the Pro Elf team 1-0. When I watched the blocks, and it was pretty much what's to be expected. 54 blocks against 29, 20 armor breaks against 4. Very few injuries though, which the Pro Elves are going to be very happy about, even if they lost, because when you see that many armor breaks, you're expecting at least 4 injuries, maybe 5, and only 1 happened. So at least the Pro Elves didn't lose anything. I'm looking at the dice right now, and a bit more skulls than pows, but overall it seems to be pretty even game, even if the Pro Elf actually gave a lot of blocks, which you want to avoid very badly against dwarves, because you're not going to win the attrition game.
I have a comment about that. The dice are a little misleading, I think, because you could make a montage of at least 3 or 4 snakes on the ornament. So
Okay,
he
so-
plays better than it looks.
All right. I did not watch the game, so I cannot talk about it. But indeed, when we
Yeah,
watched
I
the
can
dodge
think of at
dice,
least 2 or 3 elf dodges that failed on snakes. So it was
Okay.
really shitty for him.
Yeah, that's
that,
rough.
That sucked. That for sure.
Yeah.
Is hard for elves.
Quick look at the dice rolls. We do see for his dodges, only 62% on his dodges. Now, we can't exactly see how many were 3 pluses or 2 pluses, but typically you see a higher dodge percentage on that. And also, 57% on the go forwards, even though he only attempted 7. So I could see, depending upon the timing of those failures, some of that could have been pretty brutal to overcome.
Yep, that's for sure.
And I know Pimple Jams, and last week I said Atomics kind of just put his will on him and just was able to outplay him and win. And Pimple Jams corrected me on Reddit and said he got diced to hell. So hey man,
It seems like he got diced again.
hey,
Probably.
yeah, keep out of Pimple Jams. You're gonna come out on top again here soon.
All right. So if we go to the second game now, I watched this game from start to finish, and it was very, very interesting.
Yeah,
It was Rats against Teen Stars against Famous Wizard, Chaos against Razelstorm, and it was a very fun game of just people passing the ball, scoring very quickly, making mistakes. There was a few mistakes in that game. The high elves actually had magnetans. Like 2 or 3 times, Razelstorm actually managed to blitz the carrier, and the ball would just fall into the hands of another elf.
yeah.
Would just catch the ball.
I think it was 3 times. You can see the
Yeah, I believe.
the MVP gutter runner with strip ball was able to strip the carrier. I think 3 times, and
Yeah.
3 times the ball scattered into another elf's arms.
And 2 of those times, Chaos actually managed to score out of that. So yeah, it was a very interesting game. A lot of SPP to go around on both teams. Yeah, I think you watched that game as well, Truck, right?
Yeah, I think Chaos threw it. I think if he really wanted to, he could have won it. When he was 3-2 ahead and he had the ball, he just had to stall, but he had to go for the 4-2.
Yeah, he went a bit greedy there.
Yeah, I think that was what turn 15. The elves were able to turn over the rats. They picked up the ball, and was it a failed handoff? How did they lose the ball? I'm trying to remember.
On the turn 16, they tried a handoff and he fell the 1 in 9,
Yeah,
and then the ball scattered into the hands of another rat.
yeah,
And the rat just scored.
yeah. So I think it was very fortunate for Razzlestorm to come out on a draw on this. It's kind of hard to blame the Famous Wizards for trying to get some more SPP out of the game. It's especially with a
Yeah,
high elves
especially-
team.
Especially at this point, Chaos does not really care about the wins. All he really wants is SPP. So yeah, I don't think he cares very much.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's tough to fault them on that. So yeah, it was a super entertaining game. I was able to kind of lazy stream it. Wasn't able to comment during the game, but really fun to watch. 6 total scores, highly entertaining. I thought it was going to be that way too, with kind of 2 high flying teams.
Yep, it was a good one, fun one to watch as well.
All right.
Yeah, I'll go on the third game now.
Yep.
Which is Squeaky Blinders against the Rowdy Rebbl Rousers, which a bit surprisingly ended up in the Skaven's favor. The Nurgle team is looking very good, and to be honest, I would have expected them to win this game.
Sure.
Atomex's team is
So
very lean. It looks very good, so I'm a bit surprised by that result. But Rendell Maximus is a good coach, so he brought this home.
Yep, I was able to catch the replay on this one. Atomics pinged me after the game too. It was so during the Nurgle's drive, they had the ball on the Blodge Pestigore, and they're making a pretty good drive. They towards the end of the drive, they had their beast pretty far out in front of the cage, based up against a couple different gutter runners, and so the Reno Maximus was trying to attempt to get a 1-die with one of his wrestle gutters, and but he had to dodge 2 gutters away from the beast. The first one got stuck on the tentacles. Second one was able to make the dodge, and he made a 2-die uphill block on the ball carrier and double pow on the Blodge Pestigore.
That's annoying. That's just.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I mean, he had wrestle, but still double pow. That's rough. And so the ball.
It's rough. It's a 1 in 30.
Yeah. And so the ball popped free. It scattered into a Nurgle Warrior's hands, but it just kind of bogged down the drive at that point. He attempted a handoff on turn 8, no reroll, and failed it. So it's the first half was probably a little frustrating for Atomics. The second half, the Rats did pretty good job of screening and forming a drive, and did pretty good job of just kind of drawing it out, stalling out as long as possible. It got to around turn, I think 15 or 16, and they too kind of overextended a bit towards the end zone, and the Blodge Pestigore again was able to dodge away from a defender and powed the 2-heads gutter runner, and he was able to pick up the ball. And so it looked like he was able to do a draw, and then next turn, on turn 16, the Rats were able to get a 2-die on the ball carrier, and the Wrestle Gutter came up and powed once again the Blodge Pestigore to get the ball free, and the 2-heads Gutter, who was on the ground, was able to pick it up and score on turn 16.
Yeah, typical Skaven bullshit. I just hate it.
Yeah, so it was fun. I think Random Maximus played really well, in particular in the second half. Overextended a bit and almost got punished, but as soon as that ball hits the floor, you're not surprised the Skaven is able to pick it up and score.
Yeah, that's why you need to kill all rats.
Spoken like a true Chaos coach.
Oh yeah, kill the rats and the elves.
One thing that's interesting, looking at the dice rolls, the Squeaky Blinders went 1 of 14 on tentacles. That's only 7% of the tentacle rolls.
That's disgusting.
That is disgusting. I don't know exactly what the expected percentage is, but I have to think that's a bit low. Another thing is the really stupid. The Beast went
But
7 out of 7.
wait, I have a question. That means that they dodged too much, or they didn't dodge enough.
I think they
They didn't
failed.
dodge.
Yeah.
They failed. So the single time it
Well,
works
that
worked is the time he
well
then
that
followed
makes
double
sense.
pow.
No,
that
that makes sense if you think about it, because you wouldn't dodge out from tentacles with the AG3, so you're gonna dodge out with the gutter runners. But the gutter runners have strength 2, and the beast on strength 2 is very hard to move away.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's the how much he needs, but I know that 7% is just very low. I would need to do the math for it. I
Depends.
don't know it by heart, so yeah.
yeah. Maybe I can do that
Tentacles
before the
depends on
recap.
the strength. So on a
Yeah,
strength
yeah,
2, they're
yeah. I
stuck.
know. Yeah, they're probably stuck, but still, I think it's like a 9 plus or something, and even a 9 plus is more than 7%. So
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Um,
yeah, all right.
Bit
So
interesting.
a good win for Squeaky Blinders.
yeah, no doubt. He and we'll look at it a little bit earlier, but he beat the then #1 player in the division, Atomics. So
Yeah, we can have a look at the leaderboard when we're done watching the games this week.
sure. So
Yeah, go for it.
sure, yeah. So what we're looking at here is the Knights of T, coached by Gorst, facing off the Underworld squad of Grindel's safety hazards. Again, last week I called his team the Goblin team on accident, and he was Grindel. Very promptly corrected me as well. So my apologies, Grindel. This is most definitely an Underworld team. I was considering just calling them Ladders team, the Trolls team, but no, I guess Underworld is good too. Looks like I didn't watch this game, but the Bretts came out with a 3-0 victory, and these Bretts are just so hot right now.
Yeah, it's not very surprising considering how Garash's team is looking. Like the Underworld just does not have the tools to deal with that disgusting,
Str-
disgusting.
string all the blitzers are disgusting, really,
Yeah,
but
all the blitzers were
yeah.
really nice. So.
particularly old Herbal. Something's in
Yeah,
that the Herbal T,
The
strength 4.
the
Yeah,
strength 4 blitzer is very
Yeah,
nice.
that's,
I'm surprised he gave tackle, but it's still very good.
no, yeah,
I
he's
like it.
it's fantastic. Yeah, he's a great piece. And so if I were to guess, I'm sure he looked up and maybe saw some rats or elves in his future, and I felt like he really needed to
Yeah.
get the tackle.
Let's see, he plays orcs, so yeah, I don't think the tackle is gonna help him much.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh well. And last but not least, we actually have Truck's game against the Orcs, Morg Smash, the Torture Club against Morg Smash, which ended up in a 2-0 win for Rebbl, which is very surprising because Orcs actually usually have the edge on Chaos or Nurgle team in the beginning, but I guess Truck, you just had your usual Truck lock or something like that.
Let me explain something to you. It wasn't hard to win at all, because you weren't around last week to curse me.
Right, that's it. There we go. So you're gonna lose this week, right?
Dude, you have 100% of effectivity in your curse. Dude, every match you have cursed me, I have lost. Every match you haven't cursed me, I have won. It's amazing.
Perfect. I'm gonna keep cursing you then. I'm enjoying this.
No, stop it, man.
We need to start a Blood Bowl gambling ring and just win a shit ton of money off Chop
that'd be
Shoe
fun.
cursing.
I want to ask you about your game though, Truck, because when I look at the stats, you actually only had 25% ball position against 62% for the Orcs, and you won 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened?
Yeah. Well, IG4 happened. That is very.
Something you never heard. You're not supposed to hear on the
No, it's good. I actually
But that. I mean, it was a very tough match. The result doesn't really show what really happened. I mean, it could have really been 1-0, and it was a fair result. Yeah. The second touchdown came from the fact that he had nothing to lose. by turn 15, 16, so I got the ball and scored again.
Yeah.
But uh,
Yeah,
that said,
I
Usual
was
truck play at
no,
the end there.
truck magic.
yeah, I'd say so.
I watched the game. I watched the replay, and one way to kind of sum it up is the first half. Truck had a pretty good job of like switching fields. Got a pretty good foul on the Palmer. It looked like you were very aware of the palming Orc Blitzer, and you were able to kind of just control him a bit, put the beast on him. You scored early. I think maybe
Yeah,
turn 5 or 6.
that Palmer is terrifying. And to tell the truth, the first half he played perfectly. I mean, he forced me to score early. He had more than enough turns to win. To draw, and then have his own drive to win to grind me 2-1. But second half wasn't so good for him.
Right, and what I think what really got Our Name is Legion is that the foul appearance. If you look at the dice rolls, he didn't fail he failed 6 of them, but it was 82%. But the ones he did fail, I think they ate maybe 2 or 3 of his re-rolls. It also forced some turnovers. There was one time in the first half he snake-eyed a foul appearance, and then he tried to throw a 1 dice block right after and rolled another skull. And so it kind of like just totally halted his drive. There's a few times where the foul appearance, it seemed like it kind of really bothered him. He really wanted to get those blocks in on the Nurgle Warriors, and it kind of led some turnovers on his. Yeah, exactly. Yep. And so.
Yeah, and also I think it's unwise to re-roll foul appearance, in my opinion, and he did that often. I mean, you don't want to waste a reroll in that. There was one where he had to reroll it in turn 8, in his turn 8 to score. He had to do it. But other than that, he rerolled others that weren't really necessary.
Yep.
I agree. I think sometimes you just need to take the reroll on the foul appearance when you need to, but otherwise it's usually really not that worth it. So.
I will also say, watching the game, is that your beast was incredible. All game long, he was all over the field. He activated 14 out of 14 times. Never failed a really stupid. Ended up getting the sack on the ball carrier. Yeah, ended up getting a sack on the ball carrier the second half. He controlled the Palmer the first half. Your beast was amazing. He I don't think he got any SPP. No, he didn't. But he was probably the MVP of the match.
Yeah, the beast, I rarely block with it. I think I may have not blocked with it at all, but I use it to control the field with tentacles.
Yeah, it was really good. Your beast was incredible that match.
Yeah, very good.
All right, so I believe that does it for this week's matchup, or last week's matchup, should I say? If we have a look at the leaderboard right now, a bit surprising to me that the 2 Nurgle teams are actually in the top 4.
Right up there, yeah.
Because you're not expecting Nurgle to be there in a division with Orcs, with Dwarves, with Skaven, even with Bretonnians. Although the Bretonnians are slowly coming back up with their disgusting team.
I was gonna say the last 2 weeks the Brits have outscored their opponents 5-0.
Yep, it's they're looking strong right now, very strong.
But yeah, so right now at the top of the table is Rando Maximus and the Squeaky Blinders. 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. We got Truck right afterwards, tied with 3 wins. You do have 2 losses. And then Razzlestorm is the only undefeated team so far, 2 wins, 3 draws. But the 3 draws has pushed them all the way back to 3rd in the table at the moment.
Yep. And it's pretty even the rest of the league, but anyone can really still get there. I mean, even the Bretonnian team is only 3 points away from first place, so really close.
Yep. And I'm waiting for Grindel to get his first win. I think it's gonna happen soon. I'm gonna be excited when it happens too.
Yeah, it should be pretty cool. Should be pretty good to see. Shall we move on to this week's games?
Sure, yeah, and leading us off is none other than Truck. You're the Torture Club versus off PDX Bosco Stump Force. So we're gonna take a deep dive into your team, Truck, the wonderful elfish Nurgle team. So you want to talk a little bit about your team?
Sure. Well, it's a team that I made to win or to lose, but I don't like stalling too much, or I like controlling the field, but I like to go for the win. So when I saw the agility opportunities, I took it. I took them. Um, the Pestigors, the roles I have designed for them: one sacker, one ball carrier. Uh, the, the other two will probably be a hybrid one, and the other one will be a killer one. Um, Something strange I want for this team, but I think I will do it. I want my warriors to have tails, so I can catch those elves. And that rotor will be a ball retriever, probably with big hands and luck if he can afford it. Doesn't die earlier. I don't know.
Oh
I just
man.
can't. I cannot comment on this
That
team because if I do, I'm just gonna bounty every single player.
This
I mean, that's the dream. This is Rebbl after all. I mean, it can be crushed in one game. But if you ask me where I'm going, I'll have tailed warriors. I'll have a big hand AG4 rudder. That's my plan.
glorious,
Oh
man.
god.
That's glorious.
Yeah, it's just too good for the memes.
Um, so first thing I noticed is that you already got all four Pestigores, even before getting a third reroll. Typically, you see a
That's
lot of
correct.
coaches focus on getting the reroll, but
Uh,
you focus on getting the
yeah,
Pestigores.
that's not. I know it's not a good strategic decision. It has another reason for it. The stupid rudders were getting all the MVPs, and I was sick of it. So I said, screw this. I need to have more non-rudder players to get the odds in my favor.
Yeah,
It's a good strategy.
that's sound logic, man. That's fantastic. So, with you only have 30K in the bank. Are you now going to be saving up
Yeah,
for that team reroll?
yeah, yeah. My next buy will be a team reroll, and three is more than enough.
Yeah, agreed there. And I guess another thing I noticed about your team is already 1510 team value, except the bloat, huh? That's by far the highest within the
Yeah, yeah.
division.
What a and this reminds me, another mistake that the orc team made. They took a bribe instead of a wizard. That was so dumb. I mean, I'm giving inducements to everybody. I already assumed that. Okay, so I was expecting to play against a wizard. I'll probably play against a wizard with the bots, but for some reason, not everyone is taking it. So, well, good for me, but that will make my life easier.
Yeah, I think everyone should be taking a wizard against you. To be honest, for those listening in
Yeah,
the division, there's really no reason to take a bribe over a wizard. Trug got a 14-player roster, so it's not
yeah.
as if his players are that important. Because even if you get one Pestigor off the pitch, like he's got another with AG4 to pick up the ball. So
Yeah, think about it. I have 14 players. Most of them have regions, so the chances I don't play with 11 players are very slim.
yep.
What you really want is take the ball off my hands because I don't have that good ball handling. Although my Nurgle is elf, but it's Nurgle.
Also, everyone should take a wizard just to bolt Doctor Greenwood, the AG4 Rotter.
Well, if you
Also a
want,
good
if,
move.
if you well, if you want easy $5, sure. Doctor Black is already mounted.
That's fantastic. And so, as bloaty as your Nurgle team is, this week you're facing kind of a lean, mean fighting machine in a very kind of
Yep,
min-max dwarf team. Only three level,
that's
or
correct.
no, I take that back. They have 5 level ups to block on both their runners. They have 3 guard. Only 11 players at the moment, but what are your thoughts going into this week?
Oh, I have a strategy for this team. I think I will beat them with that strategy, but I won't tell you because he's listening.
And he does. He does. I think he's commented a few times within Reddit, so I know PDX Bosco likes to watch the
But you
recap.
will know exactly what it is when you see me playing.
I know exactly what Truck is gonna do here. We've discussed it at length, him and I, on many of his games, and he's got a really good experience now playing against dwarves, because I believe 4 of his 5 clan games has been against dwarves as Nurgle, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, got
So,
lean on some experience. I think
yeah.
the dwarves are going to be 300 TV down, so quite a bit. I would expect a wizard, but maybe he gets a death roller, man. Maybe maybe induces the death roller, stomp on your beast.
That would be a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, it would be fun to watch, but I'm still predicting Trick is gonna win, so I guess he's gonna lose.
No, don't do that, man. Why? Why? Damn it, man.
Sorry, Truck. I'm still predicting you to win this week.
Well,
Yeah,
I also predict I'll win.
I think I'm going. I'm going with the Torture Club as well. I think that's a lot of strength. Not enough guard quite for the dwarves to be able to compete with all that strength. And yeah, I think you're gonna come out on top.
Yep, that's good.
All right. Next up, we got the Knights of T, who was a 2-game winning streak versus the Orcs. Our name is Legions, Mork Smashes. Who do you got here, Chopshoe?
I'm going with Brats. I was really expecting the Orc team to do better. I think I've put them like first in the division, and our name is Legion has been really disappointing me with his non. He's not able to get the wins, and his Black Orcs are do not have any levels. Um, so yeah, and the Bretonian team is just really looking so good right now. So I'm gonna go with the Brats.
And our name Legion disappointing you, disappointing Chopshoe.
I'm so sad.
That's awful. He's not even mad. He's just disappointed in you.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going with the Breds here also. I think they're playing so well right now. Their team is really tough to face. The Dauntless is I think could come into play to punch the Black Orcs in the face, and yeah, I think the Breds come out on top. What about you, Truck? Who you think in the?
I'm going with a tie. I still think that. Yeah, I mean, the Orcs are better than they look. I mean, he was a bit unlucky against me, and I think he can pull it off at least a tie, 1-1 against the Brits.
All right, all right.
I like this.
All right, third up, who you got between Random Xmas, Squeaky Blinders, Face Off Grindles, Safety Hazards?
Oh, I think that's sadly for safety hazards. That's easily going into the Skaven's team. Who's playing? It's Grindle. Yeah, Grindle just cannot catch a break. He does not have the levels. I mean, I guess he got a mighty claw blitzer, but I don't think it's gonna be doing enough against the Skaven. And especially if Random Maximus roll double pows on red dice, it's not gonna be easy at all.
Got the hot dice hand.
So, yeah, I'm gonna call this one for the Skaven.
You know what? I'm going with in a matchup between top of the table versus bottom of the table. I'm calling it Safety Hazards to get their first win of the season against Squeaky Blinders. I think the Mighty Blow is gonna fire off. I think Ladders is gonna do some damage. Maybe my favorite player in the league. Maybe Dr. Greenwood's up there too, but Ladders the troll, the goblin eating machine. I think he's gonna get a couple casualties, and I think the Safety Hazard's gonna come out on top.
All right, going against me. What do you think, Truck?
I think the Reds will win, but I think they will pay the iron price.
Calling a gutter runner death here.
At least. Actually, I think Stormvermin will die.
Ah, nice. Too bad.
That claw is vicious, man.
Yeah, it is. Too bad Ladders can't eat gutter runners, because I'm sure he would if he could. All right, fourth up, we have Razzlestorm's Reds against Teen Stars versus Atomic's The Rowdy Rebbl Rouses. Two really good coaches, two really good teams that are towards the top of the table. This one's a close one. What do you think, Chopshoe?
That's a hard one. That is really a hard one
I'm
because
I'm excited to see this one.
Atomix really got the tools to do some damage. He's got 3 mighty blows, which can really hurt the rats. He's got his Blodge, Ornan, Vestigor. Um, let's see. I guess he's got this triple. Oh damn, this is hard. I'm gonna put this a draw. I think I don't want to take a decision, so I'm just going with a draw.
I'm going to go with my division favorite, Razzlestorm, undefeated so far. I think Atomics might do some punishment against him, but I'm gonna be hard pressed to choose anybody against Razzlestorm this season unless his team gets decimated. So I'm gonna go with the Rats here.
I can't see the teams right now because I'm driving. So tell me, the best figure of the Rebbl team, does he have sure hands?
No, he does not have sure hands, so it's
So
possible.
I'm going with the Rats.
Triple. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going with the Rats. Straight ball is vicious against no sure hands.
Yeah, no doubt. You're gonna have to build some solid cages there, and even then, it's easy for those rats to kind of dive right in and pop the ball free.
Yep, that's very hard.
All right, and the last one we have Hawk's Famous Wizards versus Pimple Jam's A Few Ornery Oninous. Who do you got here, Trupshoe?
I gotta go for my man
Elf
Chaos.
ball.
I gotta go for my man Chaos here. He's been playing very well. I like what he's doing, and the Ornanists have been lacking behind a bit. So, although he does have he does have 2 nice blitzers.
He has some, and 2 guard as well.
Yeah.
He has some nice pieces.
Yeah, I'm still gonna give this to Chaos. I think. My man gonna make me proud.
I think I'm gonna go with the Pro Elves, A Few Ornery Oninous here. I think Hawk has been playing well, but I think this is gonna be kind of a high flying matchup, man. I think we're gonna see at least 4 scores here. Both teams like to score, and I think the Pro Elves gonna come out on top.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I'm not sure what will happen, but it will be a shootout, that's for sure. At least 4 or 6 scores. And that said, I think Chaos will win. I mean, 88 versus 87 can make the difference. And also, he has Dumbledore with that Mighty Blow thing that will crush the elves.
I don't think Dumbledore's Mighty Blow has fired once this season. I think I've watched a lot of Hawks games, and
Fired a few times for armors, but not for injury.
yeah, I'm not sure he's gonna catch. Dumbledore's been stuck on however many SPP he has since I think game 1, and he blitzes with them almost every turn.
I think you're right. Like Dumbledore is like these juice promises that come to the league. Everybody thinks he's the star, and he does absolutely nothing.
That's what I'm saying. It has to be the worst Mighty Blow blitzing elf I've ever seen. So maybe that changes against AV7 here, but I don't know. I need to see it first.
He live up to his promise.
All right, so that sums it up for the week. We got this done early. I think the earliest we got it done. I was happy that everyone actually played their matches from week 5. But I appreciate you hopping on today with us, man. And this was awesome. I had a lot of fun. Definitely, the meme lord of 10C was able to hop on to the recap. We're gonna have to get you back on before the end of the season again, maybe during the Swiss. But definitely appreciate your time today.
Yeah. It was very fun. Thank you.
All right, Chopshoe, you got anything else before we let everyone go?
Just good luck to everyone in this week's game, and to PDS Bucks go. Just kill some AG4, please.
All right, folks. Appreciate y'all hopping on. Catch you next week.
Yep, see you guys. It was fun.
Hey, see ya.